One of the subjects that I always like to study is superconductivity because there's no end to the number of uses for superconductivity. And it's going to, as we begin to develop more and more superconductivity, it's going to literally revolutionize not only all of our technology, but the speed at which new technology is coming forward. It's going to revolutionize computers and the speed of computers, and it's already beginning to as the conductivity has sped up quite a bit, and our uses of conductivity as far as fiber optics and all them kind of things have already sped up and enabled internet to become what it is today, and the computers to be what they are today. But this superconductivity, it's going to multiply it hundreds of times, hundreds and hundreds of times more than anything we have today as we begin to get this superconductivity developed and it begins to take off and mushroom the way it's going to do. Oh, I just so look forward to the future. I mean, I take care of my health. I keep myself balanced because I want to, and I want to live to many years and see all these marvelous things that are developing in the area of superconductors and the area of all of the electronics and all of the computers and the way the internet is going to just revolutionize things, and the way our consciousness is just continuing to expand at a geometric rate. One of the greatest superconductors that we is ever known and ever will be known will be the future of our mind as it begins to evolve, and it's going to be a superconductor like we can never believe. We can't even believe it now. What's going to happen with our consciousness as it begins to evolve the way it is, and a new stage, a new age has come upon us in which evolve our ability to evolve and our actual evolving of our mind is speeding up now at a geometric rate because of the new age that has come upon us. And so as we begin to think about that, it's just we think about superconductivity being able to provide low cost energy for a large home can be powered with just a small a box like the size of a briefcase. It can be powered for a year through superconductivity and development of powerful super batteries and all that could be developed with the uses of superconductivity and microtechnology and nanotechnology and so forth. And we think about the uses in automobiles, that automobiles could utilize, could go for miles and miles and miles without having to have any kind of fuel added of any type, and not utilize any oil, and preserve the resources that we have of oil, and how that it will increase the ability of the batteries that go in there to last much longer, and all these things that can be developed. And that's just like our mind as it begins to evolve, and we begin to drop off all of these things which are holding back our evolving nature, and all the things that we're allowing to hold back the development of all kinds of new pathways in our brain, new associations in our mind, new connections between the cells, the things that are keeping those new connections from happening, and the things that are keeping our emotions messed up, and the things that are keeping us in a mood which doesn't allow for our creativity, and all these things. When all these things begin to drop off, and when we get rid of fear, and when we get rid of hatred, and we get rid of depressive thoughts, and we get rid of all negativity, and we get into a higher frequency. And the higher frequency is going to cause a superconductivity of our brain power. Our brain power is going to be so much more superconductive, which means it'll be able to travel so much further, and we'll be able to connect with beings across the universe through the power of our perception to receive. We can receive in a direct way. Just tune in our brain and receive in a direct way thoughts from all over the universe, and send with our mind, which is powerfully raised up and evolved up and superconducted up into a higher frequency. We'll be able to send out thoughts that'll be received all over the universe. Well, we could already do all of that, can already be done somewhat by some people now. because they've got themselves in the higher frequency where they can do that. And what causes that is more love. The more love we have, and the more real divine joy, and the more real divine peace, the better we can do that. And then after that, after we develop that, then the more we get into that meditation, periods of meditation, and begin to practice it and develop it and get ourselves into tune with it, then the more we can communicate, whether it be telepathically or whether it be by what I like to call just direct perception. I mean, I just do away with all the terminology and I just call it direct perception because that's the way I do it. I can receive thoughts across the miles from people if I get myself into the right frequency and I begin to tune it in and spend enough time meditating upon tuning it in and spend enough time upon having the right emotions and all when I do it. I can receive them by direct perception and I can send them out, and if they're in tune with my thoughts, they can receive them. And I just call that direct perception. But the superconductivity of our mind is going to increase and increase and increase at a geometric rate and allow us to do more and more and more and more of those kinds of things. And so I'm just so excited about both the spiritual and the mental superconductivity and the physical superconductivity because I want to see homes developed that have a super great climate control. I've always enjoyed studying that climate control, a complex that will very efficiently control the climate and keep it all at an even temperature and an even humidity and everything, all the air at an even filtered, clean air with the exact amount of dryness or the exact amount of humidity that you need in the air at all times and the exact temperature. And also, on top of that, be able to have a control system like they do now already somewhat, but we'll get 100 times better, where you have your a little computer that's just like a little tablet computer or notebook computer that's just put into each room of the house up near the light switch, and you just go up there and just touch the temperature button and just dial it wherever you want it, and then the house stays at exact temperature. And you can also dial the humidity in, how much, if you don't feel like it's enough, put a little more in, take a little more out till you get the exact right humidity, and you can dial up your filter and filter out to keep it all filtering good, filtering the air to keep out any pollen or anything like that, and just keep it to a perfect atmosphere, and then have a large home like that. Have a home that'll go across an entire acre or two in size if you want it. 25,000 square feet if you want it, with 20 or 30 rooms in it or more, and have indoor swimming pools and all that, and the entire thing, several stories, basements, 2 or 3 stories, and all that will be controlled with every room and every floor will be exactly the same temperature according to the way you set it. It has the ability to change, of course, change from room to room and floor to floor. Each person can dial in the temperature that they want, of course. But I'm saying if you wanted it to be exactly the same humidity and temperature throughout that entire large complex, like a large library or large office building, you could have it just exactly the same temperature throughout the entire thing, throughout your home, and it never vary a bit, no matter if it's cold, how fast the cold wind's blowing, or how cold it is outside, or how hot it is outside. It'll always be the same. And we're going to get our mind that same way. One of these days, our mind is going to be exactly that way. We're going to be able to when we sit down to do an activity, we're going to be able to just hit a button, as it were, in our mind, in our thoughts, and it's just going to tune just directly to that creativity, and the energy will just be right behind it, and it just take off just like that in seconds, instead of having to spend time, maybe drinking a cup of coffee and maybe trying to psych ourselves up and maybe moving around a little and gradually get going. Maybe take 10 minutes to get woke up or so forth, or longer. Some people take a lot longer than that take another 30 minutes to get ourselves into our workspace and go in and like that, and then maybe we could get the great creative juices going after we make a few phone calls or tell a few jokes. But then instead, we'll just be able to immediately jump up and hopefully we'll one of these days evolve beyond the need of sleep. That sleep is just such an inconvenience to me because every time I get my creative juices deploying and get to moving, working on something, good project, it comes time to go to sleep again. And then you have to try to go to the trouble of going to sleep and then getting up again. And then you have to think about what you were working on before. Well, it's not going to be like that. Hopefully, we'll be able to evolve beyond the need of sleep altogether. But if we don't do that, at least the minute we wake up, we'll be able to just hit some kind of psychological button, and we'll just immediately know right where we're at, and right where we left off in our creativity and energy, and our psychic being psyched up, and it'll just immediately come to that point, and we'll just be able to start right in on our task. And just think about all the things, much more, how many more things we'll be able to get done when we get to that point in our existence. And so I just can't, and it's going to be the same way with a superconductivity as far as computers and all go, and you won't have to just sit there and power up the computer and then find the place where you was at the day before and all. The superconductivity is going to allow us eventually to just be able to almost just look at the computer, and it's just going to start right in where it was before, and it's just going to immediately come to your graphics or whatever it is that you were working on, and some people just leave their computers running because of that, which is if they want to do that, but I always power mine down at night and cut them off. I cut it off and everything, but then you have to spend those periods of time getting it back on and doing the search and getting yourself back where you're at. Well, eventually it'll just be where it can be cut completely off and then just come completely back on within just a second. I know it'll get to that way. It just like all the other electronic equipment has gotten that way eventually. And so that's something to look forward to too, is when we get to that point. And then we're going to have, you talk about 16 gigabytes, 32 gigabytes and stuff like that on our notebook computers. Hey, we'll just have unlimited. I mean, it'll just be millions of gigabytes on even a little bitty small thing, and you'll have hundreds and hundreds of or thousands and thousands even of gigabytes just right on a little wristwatch, that you can just talk right into, and you'll have a little screen on there, and everything it'll be everything that you have on your notebook or your tablet computer will be right there on just the size of the smallest little watch, and you'll just have it right there with you all the time, and no danger of it getting tore up or messed up or watching out for it, because you'll just be right there on your wrist, and so there'll be the price will be where everybody can afford to have one, and there won't be anybody that won't have one, and so forth, and then of course you'll have it'll tell you your exact blood pressure and your exact which we already have things like that, but I mean they'll all be in that same computer. Tell you, and it'll go a lot further than just telling the blood pressure and the temperature, but it'll tell everything that's going on in almost every cell of your body. It'll be just be able to be just displayed right there on that wrist, and that'll all come about by nanotechnology and through superconductors. And so it's an exciting subject to talk about. Superconductors is just and I want my mind to be a superconductor. I want to get my mind cleared out of all these things, like Tanya Love talked about auric clearing. Get your mind, I want it cleared out of all the things that interfere with a superconductivity of love and a power and a peace and the ability to think at a rapid speed. I want to get all these negativity and all fear and all misunderstanding and all illusion and all superstition. I want to get that all out of the way, so that my mind will be like a supercomputer, and the creativity will just be hundreds and hundreds of times what it is now, and we're coming to that point, and where my ability to shed love and peace and power across this world and shape shift the world, shape shift the earth, make great videos, write great books, do great speeches, all of these things will just happen at a superconductive speed and a super speed and a superconductivity as far as the assimilation and the ability to form networks in my mind and ability to do all the tasks that I need to do 100 times better.